getting ready to do this. Getting ready to start our sail cover, and I've got everything lined up here. I've got the sewing machine off the table because there's not going to be room as we try to cut out the pattern that they've already got lined out on all the sailcloth, whatever, all the sail cover cloth. But anyway, let me turn this around and show you what we're doing. I'm gonna do this and do the setup for it, and we'll be back just a little bit later after I grab some lunch. So let me turn this around. In the first place, here's the instruction book that comes with it, and it is very well laid out. I've already studied the video that goes with this, and I pretty much know where I'm going with it. One of the things that they say, and I'm not going to try to pick it out of here right now, is that on the pattern, when the pattern comes close to the outside, you're supposed to just draw a little white line indicating come in from the side instead of trying to taper it. But anyway, so that's what this is all about, just a little piece of chalk. Secondly, what they tell you to do is to do sout and pout. That means starboard out, port out. In other words, the outside of the cloth that is going to become the outside of your sail cover. Mark it so that you know and you don't get confused about what's inside and what's outside, which is pretty easy to figure, because once you get this cut and laid out, it's pretty easy to just make a mark on it. But again, that's what this is for. A little bit of chalk to mark that out. Also, what they suggest is using a hot knife. Well, I don't have a hot knife, and I'm not going to pay for one, but I do have a pretty decent solder iron here with a knife blade on it, and that's what I'm going to use. And by the way, if worse comes to worse, you can use a pair of good scissors. But I'm going to give it a shot with this because it should work. This is even temperature control. I can turn the temperature up or down, and we'll just kind of give it a shot, see what it will. That's the plan. And right after I grab a bite to eat, I'll be right back, and we're going to get this project started. My wife is out of the house for the afternoon. I love it. And so we're going to get to work and do a little work on this sail cover. Glad you're going to join me. All right, let's see how this goes. Get our material out first. Come on, baby. There we go. There we go. Now this should be two very, very large panels, each of them 10 feet long, and I don't know how much, I can see your line on here. Anyway, 10 feet long. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, this is great. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull it and get this off the table. Put it on the floor for now. Now, this is both of them, I guess, rolled end to end, maybe? Or is that two? No, that's gotta be one. Guys, forgive my talking to myself because this is brand new to me, baby. But the beauty is, you can see the lines on this. I hope you can see this. Yeah, I think you can. The lines on this are all done by computer. I don't know if you can see this. This is the back of the sail cover, and it's going to come down like this. And this is the part that actually covers where the sail comes down. All the where it all bunches up at the mast. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I got to get go get an extension cord, get this thing plugged in, and then we're going to make this first cut. Okay, I'm smelling it's warming up nicely here, and in a minute we'll give it a shot. I've got the this first line. This is, like I said, this is the back of the sail cover. Well, on the back side of the mast, and this is where the zippers get sewn in right along this line here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started in just a minute. Maybe I didn't let that sink down far enough. I can't believe it. It was cutting, but not cutting. Okay. Well, okay guys, I'm going to straighten this out here, and I'm going to do it off camera. So, all right, we'll be back. Okay, so we're skipping the last part of the video. I was not happy at all with the way that the hot knife was performing. So, all of this is going to get hemmed anyway and stitched together. So, I'm not going to worry about the hot knife for now. I looked at it, whether I could get one at Joann Fabrics. Basically, they don't have anything different than what I was just trying to use. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and I've got out my wife's good dress shears here, and I'm just going to go ahead and very carefully cut the lines and just stay with it until we get all 10 feet of sail cover done, both port and starboard, and also the throat, which is all very beautifully visible because of the way that the computer marked it out. So let me get started on this, and I'll let you just watch me cutting for a minute, but I'm not going to do all of this. I'm just going to do as much as needs to for the sake of the video, and then we'll show everything when it's all done. Okay, the first part I'm going to be cutting is called is where the stack goes. In other words, where the sail all comes down and bunches up on the top of the mast, on the top of the boom, right next to the mast. I'm going to make this initial cut just like they told me to, with a little divot in from the edge. And we're just going to go along and cut the line. The weight of this material is just gorgeous. I mean, this is not flimsy stuff by any means. Awesome. Pull this way. So what I'm going to do is roll up the edge that I've already cut, because I unroll the other one. So. We're getting to the end. Because this is the upswing for the stack on the starboard side. All right, let me one or two more rolls here, I think. Almost there. So this is the end. This is the 10-foot mark at the end of the port side of the sail cover. So I'm going to do the cutoff right here, and then we'll handle the other one completely separate. And let me see if I can roll this conveniently again. Get this slowly out of the way. Okay, there you go. That's it. Then we'll turn this around. Got the other side. This is the end of the 10 feet right here. And that's it. That's it. All right, that is the port side of the sail cover. Now we're going to turn this around and start on the starboard. We got it all cut out, and I've got the panels facing each other so you can kind of get the idea of how they lay out when we start stitching. And it's pretty much all set. And at this point, what I'm going to do is go watch the video again and study how we begin to stitch this together. I know a big part of it is using the basting tape. The basting tape, which I don't know, you guys know sewing at all. Basting tape is like a stickum that you use when you're hemming things. And here, let me see. And here's a big roll of basting tape. And so that's going to be one of the things I do as I begin making the seams and so on and so forth. So, all right, well, let me go ahead and turn this around. I'll show you what we got so far. Okay, as per their instructions, I have this marked S out, P out, as in starboard side out, port side out. You'll see they're mirror images of each other. Here's the top of the throat. And that's where the throat goes, up there. By the way, that's what's rolled up. That roll right there, that is the throat that goes across like that when this is sewn together. But that's, you can see the curve. This is what comes down over the stack of your sail as it lays on top of the boom. And this is all rolled up, and right there what you see rolled up on each side is 10 feet of material to go out to the end of the boom. So that's it for now. And guys, for day one, that's all we're doing. And it's time now to go and do some study. Get into the book, which is this little baby right here. And also get out the video and kind of, as I'm looking at the book, look at the video and just kind of understand the different steps that we're going to be going through. I know actually one of the very first steps we do is to create a hem along these seams in the center, what looks like the center right now, and put the zipper on. I was really surprised at that. That's one of the first things you do, is to create those hems and mount the zipper to one side, and then anyway, you get the idea. We'll get to all that later, and I'll show you when we come to it. All right, guys, that's it for day one. Thanks for dropping by. Good morning, guys. My wife's out of the house for an hour or so we're here together, and we're going to go ahead and get started on marking up the hem for the starboard side of the sail cover. And in the meantime, I was bemoaning the fact that I was going to have to use chalk, which is not a very accurate marker, but my wife had these fabric markers, and this seems to work pretty well. I've tested it on a piece of scrap. So the first thing we're going to be doing is marking a 2.5-inch line from the bottom edge of the starboard side of the sail cover on the inside, not on the outside, because we're going to be turning the bottom of the material up and creating a hem on the inside, and actually it will end up being a double hem. And so we'll show you all that as we get to it, but that, as of right now, that's where we're headed. So let me turn this, set this up so that everybody can see it, and I think this should be good right about there. And so what I'm going to do is start marking that 2.5 inches, 2.25 inches from the bottom edge. Now they have a very special marker that they like to use. A special tool that they like to use, but you know, the thing is, I mean, if you got a decent straight edge, you can do it. And I'm just gonna go through here, and every 2.25 inches. This is not easy to do with this big old thing, but it'll work. You got to mark it all the way down, all 10 feet. And okay, this is not easy up here. Tell you what, I think we're going to do this as we get to it. But for right now, let's go ahead and get the line struck. 2.25. Because what we're going to be doing after we put the basting tape on, we're going to be folding that. Let me slide this down. We're going to be folding the bottom edge up to the line that you're seeing right now. Okay, so the next step we're going to be doing is to take this basting tape and put it all the way down the very outside edge here, the very bottom edge, I should say. And when we do that, we press it down, and when we have the basting tape attached to the entire edge of the material, then we fold it to where this edge comes up to the line, okay? And so now we're ready to go. I've never used this before. This is my first time ever using it. I think we're going to start like we started with a line, and start up with that end. All right, good, all set. And what it is, this basting tape is peelable. In other words, it's got a plastic edge to it. Get it down, Randy, get it down. That once you got it down and pressed down, you come along and peel that off, and there's your stickum to go ahead and stick that edge up against the line that we've struck. I'm so stinking meticulous, it's ridiculous. Meticulous, ridiculous. And this takes a long time when you're being picky. The back of my knife works just as good as their tool, I guarantee. This is my grandfather's knife that he used. Bought it somewhere right around the close of World War II. That's from the serial number that's on it. And I'm very proud to be using my grandfather's knife. There we go, ready. All right, are we still going? Yeah, we're still going. Okay, so I'm going to start peeling the If I can get hold of that plastic. Come on, baby, get off of there. I may have to edit out this beginning just so they see, I can see what I'm trying to get hold of. There we go. There we go. I don't want to. I just want to take up the backing, the white backing stuff. There we go. There we go. Okay, you see as I strip this off, all you've got left there is the adhesive that you're going to be going up against that line. You put it right on the line and press it. Ooh, I tell you what, that's got some good sticky to it. Sticking on my fingers. Trying to be as accurate as possible with getting it lined up with that line. That is the entire 10-foot seam. Now we come back and we do what we did before. We start pressing that down. I'm going to repeat the process, and what you do is you take and run another strip of the basting tape along this edge, then this whole thing gets turned again, so that now you're looking at 3 layers of fabric. You got this one, the one that you've already turned, and then you've got a third one that you're folding it up onto. And ultimately what you're doing is creating a hem that is 3 layers thick. Well, why for that? Why do you need to do that? It's because this is what your little latches go through. I still don't know the name of those stupid things, but that they have to. You're creating a very, very solid, heavy fabric seam where your connectors that are going to connect the bottom edges of the sail cover go through this, and it just makes for a very solid fabric fastening surface. And so anyway, all right guys, I think we're gonna call that one quits right now. When I get the next one done and we get it all rolled up and get the one turned up like this, I'll bring you guys back, show you the finished product, and then what ultimately you're gonna do is, when this is all turned under like this, you're gonna have a stitch along this edge and along this edge, and so it will all just, you'll like have a double stitch to secure that all in place. Anyway, it makes for a really good solid sail cover, I'll give them that. So all right, that's it for now guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm about to start the port side here, and I'm going to just do one thing, and then I'm not going to show the rest of it. When you get ready to do it, make sure that you have that you're looking at the inside of the fabric for now, which would now be the port side. Okay, with the other side, I had, if you fold this corner over, there's P out, and there's port side out. On the other piece of fabric I just got done doing, it has S out, just exactly where that is, only we're flipped around. And the idea is you want to keep track of what side of the fabric you're facing, because this is now the inside of your sail cover on the port side, and that's why you're going to go ahead and put your start making your seam here. You're going to go ahead and put your basting tape on. Actually, the first thing you do is mark out your 2 1/4 all the way down the length of it. Then you put your basting tape on. You go through the whole process I just showed you. But make sure that you keep yourself straight, that you're working on the inside of the fabric as you begin to build that seam, okay, or that hem. All right, that's it. I'm going to shut up now because that's really all you should need. As a matter of fact, as long as you pay attention to that as to what's inside, what's outside, yeah, you'll be good to go. So with that, I'm going to shut up and start doing my work here, and we'll do exactly like we did on the starboard side, we'll do here on the port side. Well, that's it, guys. The hems are all made port and starboard. Next thing I think I'm going to go back and consult the videotape, but I think the next thing is going to be going to the sewing machine. But that's cool. I'm glad to have these all done. And it's looking good. I'm really proud of that. Anyway, all right. I'm going to stop right there, and we'll, by the time you see me again, or by the time we do another segment, we'll have figured out where we're going, and we'll get a new part of the videotape online here. So, all right. Anyway, that's kind of cool. I love it. Looking good. That's it for another episode of Restoring Little Girl. If any of this is confusing to you, just go to the Sailrite website, and they have awesome videos there of how to do this by the professionals. But in the meantime, you know, I'm just a lowly guy who loves sailing and loves working on boats, and this is my version of it for the moment. And I had to do a truckload of editing out content just to get it all stripped down to be, you know, and still make sense. So I hope you don't mind. But that's it for now. Next step, I think, before going back to the video and so forth, the next step I think is going to be actually getting out the sewing machine and starting to do some stitching those brand new hems that I got all done on the port and starboard halves of the sail cover. And we'll get back to you shortly as soon as we get some work done on it. This is income tax time of the year, and I have to do all that garbage too, you know, it's whatever. So anyway, all right, guys, listen, thanks for stopping by, and we'll hope to tie up with you in the near future as soon as we get some more work done on this sail cover. All right, thanks. Bye.